What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 61 of the Yamcast. Today we are taking a look at Yamaha's new liveries on their R bikes. One of them is missing, but we've got the hookup on which one that is today. We've also got news about the new Gigatona, the 1200RR, the Triumph Speed triple bike. Yes, it's been out for a little bit, but we're going to have our take and our spin on it. And then we're also going to bring you guys some behind-the-scenes conversations about our Utah trip. We've got some fun stories to share with you guys. And then next up, we're going to have a fun email reading. This is a bit of a different twist on today's Yamcast, but I received one of the craziest email updates for one of our giveaway bikes that I have to read. I have to tell you guys about it. So we're doing that instead of the call-in, which is going to be awesome. You guys are really going to love that. And then we have our meme contest of the week. We are dunking on Floridian riders. Florida man beware. We're coming for you in the form of memes. Stick around. It's going to be a good one. Alrighty, Spite, what's our first bit of news today?
Our first piece of news, let me share the screen with the people at home, is the new Yamaha liveries.
Oh.
All but one of the R bikes has new liveries.
The Yamaha simping is just intensifying over here. Now, we saw a version of this livery, I think, in Qatar. Cal Crutchlow had a type of livery like this in MotoGP as the test rider. He had a white bike with red and the yellow in the front. And it's cool that they actually fleshed this out as the 60th anniversary paint scheme. They always got the coolest ones.
They did something very similar for their 50th, didn't they? Where they had the yellow R1 with the black stripes.
Yep.
That looked awesome.
Yeah, the yellow R1 with the bronze wheels.
That looked
amazing.
So cool.
So cool.
But I really do like the red, white, and bronze here. It looks sweet.
Yeah, it's extremely cool. Now, I will say, I think between the yellow on the fairings, the yellow on the forks, and the bronze on the wheels, it's a little too many yellow kind of themes up at the front for me. What do you think?
I feel like if they had color matched the rims to the forks or something like that, it would be a little bit better, but
I think if they had just gone for black wheels, it could have looked cool, too, you know? I don't think it needed to have bronze wheels, but
yeah, see, this is the thing that Honda does where they have red and white, and then they have the bronze wheels, and they have the kind of deep bronze on them. That was kind of what I saw when I first saw this. I was like, oh, they're kind of poaching Honda's deal here.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of the Super 4. It's not called the Sirioro, but it's something close to that.
Yeah. I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
it's the little Super 4 inline 400 naked bike. It's some special edition of that.
Yeah.
But I love these old school colorways. They just look so cool.
Yeah. On a modern bike, the old school colors look super, super cool. But as you guys can tell, they're only going to be offering it for the R3, the R7, and the R1. And that is because they're not making street legal R6s anymore.
Nope.
As we have told you guys before. So Yamaha will now sell you an eye-wateringly expensive $18,399 track-prepped R6 from the factory, which is way too much money for a track bike.
That is much too much money.
Way too much. If you guys don't know, the R6 has been around since the dawn of time, and you can go and find them on forums for like $6,000 all day long, well set up and ready to go. Nobody should buy this unless you're just like a massive Yamaha simp and you just want to have a factory fresh race bike, which is very cool, let's be honest. Having a 0-mile factory fresh race bike, pretty sweet.
But again, I wonder, so yeah, engines are ready to go from the factory normally. But, and I've asked this question before, do you have to do 600-mile break-in on the factory ready race bike, or do they expect you to like do 500 miles of slow easy track riding, or it's probably got to be measured in hours, right?
500 miles of slow easy track riding is that's like a death sentence. That's horrible. Yeah. I mean, Eagles Canyon Raceway, my home facility, is 2.7 miles, right? That would
250 laps.
250 laps until it's ready to go. Considering you do about 10 or 12 laps a session, you'd be doing 20 sessions at like snail pace until it's ready. No. Turn the thing on, yeet it into space. It'll be completely fine. Fun fact, that's what we do with all the giveaway bikes. The Fireblade had like 300 miles on it. I'm like, to the track you go.
Now it's making 215 horsepower.
Yes, and the check engine light is on. We've improved it. Oh, God. But I think it would have been really cool to at least offer in the R6 this colorway. I know that they probably couldn't do it because it's not street legal, and it just would have been complicated because they sell you the kind of quick release hot bodies, armor bodies, race fairings here so that you can put whatever graphics you want and you can paint it whatever way you want. That's why they do that. But yeah, if you scroll down here, you can see World Superbike rider Garrett Gerloff looking snazzy fresh on his R1. All the World Superbike guys, they were on this special livery for, I think, last weekend's race, which is really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a cool colorway. It's
super
so cool.
Yeah. Imagine having an R1 that looks like that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I would like to see maybe a less Bionicle-fied MT10 with this colorway.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
Because you look at, I know there was an XSR 900 that came in this colorway. Or maybe it was red with white stripe or yellow with a black
it was an
stripe.
XSR that was similar to this. Yeah.
I would love to see that with the MT10. Because at that point, then you're talking about a bike that you gotta buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's so cool.
But yeah, if they, like you said, they unbionicle-fied it, and then made it a little more normal looking, a little less transformery, and put that color scheme, that's done. That's it.
Why don't they just make an XSR 1?
I know. How sweet would that be?
That would be
an
so
XSR
cool.
1 with this colorway?
Oh, dude.
Oh,
done.
man,
they
done.
Would sell a million of those.
They would sell so many of those. And if anyone at Yamaha's listening, just do that. You'll sell so many of those bikes. You'll sell so many XSR 1s. Or would it be an XSR 1000?
I would call it an XSR 1.
XSR 1?
I think that just rolls off the tongue better.
I think I like XSR 1000. Or maybe an XSR 10. What would we name it? I don't know.
First thought, best thought.
I suppose so. Yeah. XSR 1. Yeah, that would be an awesome motorcycle. Yeah, it's a bummer because if we had somehow had the foresight and could have a crystal ball, it would have been so cool if our R7 would have been in this colorway.
Oh, dude.
That would have been so sick.
Yeah.
But there's no way we could have known or done that. I don't think these are even out yet.
Nope.
But yeah, to anyone who's actually going to be able to buy one of these, man, God bless you. That's such a cool colorway. I bet you they'll sell out real quick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These cool, limited colorways go out fast.
Yeah, they do.
So,
yeah. Well, we are very excited to see this new Yamaha livery over here, simping for some Yamahas as usual. But what's up next, Bud? It's more sport bikes, isn't it?
More sport naked, sport bike-ish kind of thing. It's the Gigatona, the Speed Triple RR 1200.
Yeah. Big Tona.
So this is basically just
It's an SV650X, right?
Yeah.
On steroids.
Yeah.
No, of course it's not. It kind of looks like one in white, though.
It really does. You squint and you're like, yeah.
It does look like it. if I'm squinting at it, it does look like an SV650X.
Uh-huh. Especially from the front, just with all this going on.
Mm-hmm. So this is a very interesting motorcycle because I think a lot of people don't really know what to make of it because the price point suggests, top-end leader bike. The specs kind of suggest top-end leader bike, but it's not really designed to be a racetrack-ready homologation crazy machine like leader bikes are nowadays. Triumph has said many times in their press release that they want this to be the kind of everyday sport-going road bike first. Right.
Which is why it comes in at $20,000, $950, and $21,275 with Öhlins up front, Öhlins in back,
It's
dual
got
Brembo stylemas.
Well, if you look at that Öhlins spec, that's the same one that comes on the Fireblade. That's the Öhlins SEC, the 2.0.
Is that the
same one?
Electronically adjustable? Mm-hmm. Really?
It's the same set of forks from the Fireblade.
Yeah, okay. This is your everyday street bike. Sure.
For the average enthusiast to enjoy. The new 180 horsepower What world do we live in? You know what I mean?
Every time I hear us talk about the Fireblade on the street, the Marc Marquez thing where he's riding it on track comes into my brain. He's like, and the power is so good for the enthusiast. It's so good, you know?
Yeah. And then I just cut to me being like, whoa! Yeah, it's really funny hearing him just bang through the gears. He's like, oh, this makes pretty good power. Yeah, not bad. I'm like, your brain is broken, Mark. It was broken the day you were born. You're just different than us. You're not like us. Now, this is cool to see the rider triangle here. So the Speed Triple Double R comes with clip-ons and a little cowl lip at the front. It's not a fully fared motorcycle, but that massively changes the rider triangle. But a lot, yeah. But the seat is basically the same. So I wonder if it'll have that feeling that the SV650X had, where you're like, this was definitely a naked bike. They just put clip-ons on.
I don't think so, because you see they actually adjusted the foot peg location, so the foot pegs are a little bit higher.
A little bit higher. But I wonder how that seat height is going to work, though. I wonder if it's tall enough, because the Street Triple seat height is fine. You can put clip-ons on that and it'll work just like a sport bike. But I don't know about this new Speed Triple because I haven't ridden it yet.
I'd imagine it's very similar. I'd imagine the Speed Triple has very similar ergonomics to the Street Triple, and that kind of like canted forward, aggressive bend.
Yeah.
Super sport naked almost.
Yeah.
That was one of the most aggressive naked bikes I've ever ridden.
Which one?
The Street Triple.
The Street Triple. Yeah. It is. I mean, it feels like a proper sport bike. That's because it has the Daytona's frame.
Now, we were talking about this cockpit view
man,
earlier.
it's so good. For me, personally, as a diehard Daytona guy, I mean, I love the white and the blue-capped Öhlins and the Triumph Triple Tree, and that cockpit to me is just a 10 out of 10. It's beautiful. That'd be such a amazing place to sit. And one thing that's cool about the RS too, and going into the RR, is that a lot of people who rode the Street Triple RS on track said that they were like, honestly, this thing handles really, really well. It's not going to be some compromised naked bike. It's probably going to be a really fun sport bike to ride.
I'm not surprised. I mean, when Triumph puts their nose to the grindstone, they make a really good bike.
They make good stuff. Yeah. I just wonder how people are, if they're really going to buy them and receive them well. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's a really handsome and good-looking motorcycle. What do you think?
I think it's really pretty, but I don't buy stuff because I think it's pretty.
Sure.
See,
you own a Supermoto. Yeah, I was just about to say.
So I think that I buy a bike because it's fun and 177 horsepower. Boy, that's probably going to be real fun.
Yeah.
But at 20 grand, man, that's a lot.
21, honestly. Let's be real here. That's MSRP. That's before everything. This is probably like $23,000.
Yeah, 25 if you're unlucky.
Yeah, which you probably will be.
That's brutal.
I'm curious to ride it because I haven't ridden the new Speed Triple yet, and it would be really cool to see what this is like to rail around, you know? But
perhaps new expert bike giveaway?
Maybe. It's a little spicy, but yeah, maybe. And I just don't know if people would be very interested in it. You know?
Honestly, that's the thing is I don't see the. I heard about the Speed Triple RS. Mm-hmm. I saw some initial reviews, and then I've heard nothing but quiet.
Yeah.
On it.
I haven't even seen videos of people who've bought it and owned it and used it. You know.
To my mind, that means it's probably really good. Yeah, I feel like you either see. Post-launch stuff about a motorcycle if it's exceptional,
yes,
or if it's a giant hunk of garbage.
Yeah, which Triumph's not going to make a giant hunk of garbage. We know that.
But so that, to my mind, means it's probably very good, but like, cool, it's good, thumbs up.
Yeah,
and that's all they have to say about it.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a bummer because it's kind of cool to have another Hyper Naked.
Yeah, and it definitely is, and it was such a big upgrade over the old Speed Triple that it definitely deserved the hype that it got when it first got launched. But, you know, Triumph's doing some interesting stuff. I mean, they've got this going, they've got their new off-road program kind of getting started. It'll be curious to see what they do in the next 5 to 6 years or so with their new offerings. But for me, the real question is, are they gonna make a Gigatona?
No.
I have my fingers crossed, but I also think no. I
mean, it would be a no-brainer. I think a lot of people would cream themselves over it.
Yeah.
But
now here's something that's interesting. This news actually just came out today that I was reading about. The FIM is getting ready to change their super sport homologation rules away from 600s. They're going to make it much more flexible and open for things like the Ducati V2, the MV Agusta F3, the Daytona 765, those types of motorcycles to play in the pond, you know?
interesting. So they're probably going to do it more on power.
Yes. So I think that's what they're going to do, and they might make some concessions on the V2 because obviously it is way more powerful than those other bikes. But my fingers crossed, my moonshot for triumph is they throw the 765 Moto2 carbon thing in the bin, and they make a serious race spec, race ready homologated bike for the new Super Sport rules. 150 horsepower, 799cc triple with new fairings, an updated frame, an honest to God new Daytona.
That would be very interesting.
A boy can dream, right? We'll keep your fingers crossed for perhaps a new Gigatona, the new Speed Triple RR here. Very, very cool, good-looking bike. And I think that's it on the Triumph, right?
Yes.
I think on that note, we'll move on. Now, our last bit of news today is a bit of a catch-up on our Utah trip, right?
Yes. So we went to Utah, what was it?
Last week.
Last week, the days have already blurred together.
Time is a flat circle.
But yeah, we were in Utah for 3 days doing 700 miles, I think.
Yep, 700 miles on and off-road. And I know people are going to say we didn't do real off-road, whatever. It was real off-road because you, Josh, and Whitney, everyone had different levels of binage, right? Mm-hmm. What would you say was your favorite part of the Utah trip?
Ooh, man. Okay, so there's a couple. I really liked rolling through the rock garden on the way into the Grand Canyon.
That was awesome.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was this secluded trail out in the middle of nowhere that literally ends when you hit the rim of the Grand Canyon. It's
amazing.
There's no railings, no people, no nothing.
Yeah.
And
just unbelievable overlook. You're like, whoa, there's a big hole in the ground.
And you can just look down 3,000 feet and be like, jump. Just do it. Just do it.
End everything.
Yeah, you have that little lizard part of your brain.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, I need to walk backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also love doing the Hell's Backbone. The night, we were there in the late afternoon, early evening, riding through this trail in the forest. It was so pretty. And, we had spaced out enough in the group where it was just me on the GS. And it was like zen out there. It was so cool.
I think for you, you've already fallen in love with adventure bike stuff, but I think this really just sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I think you're really trying to go down that route, right?
Yeah, it's only a matter of time because it was so much fun and you get to see so much and go anywhere, really.
Yeah.
It was just, I self-actualized a little bit out there. It was so cool.
Yeah, it's hard not to in such a beautiful, beautiful place. But I would say the thing that really threw everyone off, and for me was a highlight of the trip in a bad way, was the frickin' sand.
The sand was so much fun.
The sand, man. I mean, how many times did Josh eat it? Because we were waiting at that top of the trail. I don't mean to put Josh on blast here, but we did wait for like an hour as him and Whitney and some of the other guys were trying to just shovel through that sand for like forever, man. He must have fell off. To the point where we got
a little bit worried.
I was worried. I was like, holy shit, like something went wrong. But I think he told me he fell over about 8 times.
On that one, and then he did like 4 the day before.
Yeah,
so he was in the double digits.
He took a beating on the sand. And it was really only the sand that kind of caught him out because it's so tricky to ride in that super fine, powdery sand that we had there.
Yep.
If y'all have never ridden in that kind of conditions, it's really tricky. I mean, I was to the point where, because his name isn't Wilbur. I was going to call him Wilbur again. Steve, our guide, he was getting out ahead. This like older guy on a GS, just sitting through everything, just crushing the sand, billy goating his way through everything. His son, Austin, the same thing. I was going through that sand like 6 miles an hour, both feet down, just waddling it for miles, man. Because I was like, I don't want to drop this bike, whatever, I'll go slow as hell. But you had a different approach.
Yeah, I just kind of sent it. So day one out there, I was hauling the mail off road.
Yes. Yeah, you were trying to keep up with Steve.
I was keeping up with Steve pretty good
you
until
were ripping like 90 miles an hour on gravel.
Yep. Because the GS was just floating over everything. It was crazy.
Yep.
And then I had a very spectacular crash day one. I think we were probably like 3 hours into the ride or something like that. And I hit a sand wash the first time.
Mid corner.
Yep. Bike went right and then it went left and it hit the ground real hard.
Yeah.
And I still got the bruise on my leg from where it went down. I snapped the windshield off.
Yeah. You turned it into the BMW Superleggera.
Yep.
Which was the best thing.
And then just slowly as the weekend went on, it got shittier and shittier.
Yeah, that little part where you ended up high-siding, Josh and I were coming up because I was following Josh and giving him some pointers on how to ride and that type of stuff because that was his first time ever really riding off-road, so I was kind of supervising him for a little bit, making sure he'd be okay. And I remember hearing you on comm, you're kind of breathing heavy. I was like, "Y'all good?" And you were like, I just went down a little bit. There's some sand up here. And then I came up, I was like, "Oh, is this some sand? Okay." I could totally, I mean, if I was not expecting sand there either, so if you hadn't alerted me to it, I probably would have ate there too.
Yeah, it was
no doubt, because it was deep and it was out of nowhere, just like that. And that's how the trails were all the time. Mm-hmm. You'd be riding along, hard pack gravel, boom, sand out of nowhere, like a viper strike, you know.
But then I also dumped. I had a spill each day. The second day was kind of the most minimal spill.
Yeah.
Where I just the bike went to sleep in the sand. And I was just like, well, it's too heavy. Down it goes.
Yep. I was behind you when that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you had second mover's advantage.
I did, yeah, because I was behind you and I saw you go down the deeper stuff and I was just like, do, and I just waddled through everything again. I was like, whatever, man.
And then day 3, the sand claimed me once more, where it was almost more spectacular than the day 1
This one was
incident.
great, yeah.
So I was kind of going 20, 30 miles an hour on the left-hand side trying to avoid the deeper stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the ground disappeared and it just turned into like 9 inches of sand.
Yeah.
Instantly, the front wheel goes left, goes right, and then goes left straight into a berm. Bike goes up and then falls straight down on the side.
I was a little further back from you because you had passed me and you're like, I can't wait for you on the sand. I was like, all right, man, go ahead. So you went ahead. And then I heard you on the comment, you just went, ugh! And I was like, what happened? And you're like, GS is on my nuts. The GS is on my nuts. And I was like, it's on your nuts? And you had eventually gotten it off of you, right? But basically both wheels are up in the air and the bike was almost on top of you, right?
Yeah, I almost rolled it over. It hit the berm really hard. But yeah, it was, both wheels were in the air. They were both spinning when I got out from underneath it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, I got to pick it up in the sand. And I got it kind of on its side and then I sat on it for a minute and I was just like, wallowing in my situation. Then I was like, okay, gotta keep going. Lifted her up and got moving.
I think it was a great fit for you because you're kind of a bigger, stronger guy, and so picking up a big bike like that, not a huge deal. But we saw with Josh where he dipped it a couple times. It's tougher when you're a smaller guy doing stuff like that, you know. And I'm only about 30 pounds heavier than Josh, and I really was like, I really don't want to drop this bike. It's really annoying for me to pick this thing up, you know.
Yeah, for me, I probably could have been good with like 3 drops a day. It would probably be my limit where at that point I'm like, this is really f***ing annoying.
Yeah.
But 1 here and there, nah, it's no biggie.
Yeah. I think you were telling me too through the rock garden, you were starting to feel the weight of that GS a little bit. It's a big girl. And when you start going slower, you start really feeling the mass where you're like, don't tip over, you know, for the love of God.
Then we did that vlog and there were parts where I was just huffing and puffing in the helmet trying to keep the thing up.
Yeah.
Really hard to talk and rock garden and balance the bike at the same time.
Yeah. I'm surprised we were able to make a cohesive off-road kind of vlog during that.
We barely did because we still have to film the rest of it.
Yeah. What other stories do we have? I mean, the sand was crazy because like the front end just does whatever and you're like, oh my God, you know, like where is this bike going? And sometimes it just goes in directions you're like, okay, I'm going along this way now, I guess.
I'm just along for the ride.
I'm just on the ride here. But I'm trying to think of other situations we had.
I mean, the sand was the only one that really caught me out. The rest of it was just these unbelievable vistas.
Yes. I think the third day where we did the trail towards the Grand Canyon, the first part was just like beautifully flowy gravel. It was so nice to get along with it. But doing that, the third day, we did 300 miles and a solid like 220 of them were all off-road.
Yep. And
I got to tell you, by the end of that day, I was absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
I was smoked, tired, burnt out, done. Because when you're riding off-road like that and you're managing the situation every second, every moment, you're picking your line, thinking about what you're doing, especially on those big adventure bikes, dude, it wears you out.
There was a point where we stopped for everyone to catch up, and I laid out on the seat of the bike and just kind of curled up on the handlebars, and I was like, just leave me here.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I'll catch up later.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think everyone became a better rider through it for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think Josh especially learned a bunch since that was his first time ever rolling off-road. But I think everyone learned some. I mean, for me personally, I'd never ridden through that much sand ever in my life, so I really learned a lot about riding in sand on that trip. The only time I did that before was in Morocco on the Tiger 900 for like a minute, or 2 minutes in the sand. It wasn't anything.
We hit some sand and some splashy stuff today, and I was like, this is nothing.
Oh, it's nothing. Yeah, for
so
sand,
easy.
Nothing. But in today's little adventure that you guys are going to see later on this week, those ascents and descents were way harder than the stuff we were doing in Utah. It was rocky and loose and crazy.
Yep.
Which makes you really respect some of the guys that do that stuff on big ADVs. You're like, whoa,
God,
like how Poltaris, did you guys know that he did Romaniacs on his T7?
No, I hadn't heard.
Nobody's heard it. I can't believe it. I keep mentioning to people and no one's ever heard of it. It's unbelievable. But yeah, lots of cool Utah content coming out. There should have already been a video gone live by the time you guys watch this. We got middleweight versus big ADV. We've got a video with Austin about his adaptive riding. One of our guides there actually only had one leg, which was kind of humiliating when he would make it through the sand and then just make us all look pathetic. And we're like, this dude has one leg, and he made us look like idiots.
Yeah, that dude was shredding on the stuff
he was doing great.
Struggling on.
Yeah, so props to Austin. And that wraps up our Utah trip recap and our news for the week. And now we're going to move on to the email and the special story time here on Yammy Noob. Stick around. All right, folks, welcome to a special portion of the Yamcast. Normally, this is where we do our call-ins, but I have received something in my email that I think everyone needs to hear about. So, as you guys know, we give away motorcycles here, and oftentimes I will check in with the winners, and normally I'm just like, hey, can you send me a selfie? How's the bike going? Let me know. And so back on November 19th, 2020, I sent an email to the winner of our SV650X that we did last year. And I said, I hope all is well with you in the new bike. Would you happen to have a selfie with you on the bike which we could use? I'm setting up some plaques in our shop, and I'd love to know how the bike is working for you. Thank you. On August 27, 2021, he replied.
Here we go.
Oh, did he reply? So now I'm going to read you guys this email unabridged in the best way I can possibly do. Luckily, I have lots of experience reading things, so I should be okay. And here we go. So the winner, Nick, said, "Hello, Yammy and the rest. This is Nick, the winner of the Suzuki SV650X, which I absolutely love and was so effing excited about and just spilling over with gratitude. Sorry it has taken so long to respond to your request for a selfie, but there have been some events that I thought I should share with you and maybe, if you like, the rest of your viewers. A kind of where are they now update. So the Suzuki is amazing and so much fun and so fucking cool looking. So much so that it got me a girlfriend for the first time since my previous girlfriend threw me out on the street. However, back in February, new girlfriend and I were at a friend's place for a brief visit in Central Hollywood, and when we came out, the bike was gone and my heart melted. This was the first motorcycle I had had in years, and not only that, but the first vehicle I had owned since I got divorced in 2013. I lost everything in that divorce, like everything, and assumed I would never have anything nice again. So I was pretty forlorn. The guy who we were visiting is all about motorcycles, and at the time was a member of a pretty big club, rhymes with Mongols, and also was the security guy of the building he lived in, so we were able to check out the cameras, and we saw some guy with a dog just walk up and walk off with the bike from the place he assured me was safe after overwhelming the steering lock. Then he jumped on his V-twin Sportster and rode it around the block, revving his engine all the way around and maybe went another half block, and came back quite quickly and said he told me he might know who took it and mentioned for me to hop on the back, and we rode off in the opposite direction and way further than he could have possibly made it with actually riding it. However, I still assumed he was genuinely acting in my interest, so I didn't protest. Take a quick break here, 1 sec. We eventually arrived in a homeless camp where we jumped off and proceeded to harass every tent, yelling and making a lot of noise, all while asking about some guy named Durrell or something like that. As I suspected, no one had any idea what he was talking about. So we rode back to his place, and I Ubered home with my girlfriend, both holding our helmets and feeling pretty stupid. I filed a police report the following day, and much to my surprise, got a call the very next day saying they had found it. My girlfriend owned a truck and so went and picked it up along with the help of, we will just call him Billy and his Mongol buddy Renegade. These are their actual names, by the way. And the bike was unrideable due to attempts at hot wiring, and the ignition wiring had been ripped apart and the windshield and cowling had been removed. The gas tank cover had also been pried off to steal the gas. Renegade offered to let me keep it as his house while Billy volunteered to repair it, as long as I paid him, of course. So that's where it went. The following day, they gave me a list of parts to order, and the damage was a little more extensive than we initially thought. The brake and clutch levers were broken off, the rear brake and gear shifters, foot pegs, and passenger pegs were broken off as well, and the headlight was gone. Like, WTF did they do with it? So anyways, I wait, and I inquire here and there, and I'm told it's getting there. So eventually, Billy and Renegade had a falling out due to Billy inviting Renegade into his bedroom to his wife along with him, and surprise, she leaves Billy for Renegade. Who would have thought? Especially if you could see them side by side. The wife looked like white trash / biker chick Nicole Kidman, complete with felonies she's absconding from and murder indictment she's on the run from. Billy looks like a Mongol hobbit, or maybe like a biker Oompa Loompa. Actually looks a lot like Billy Barty, famous actor dwarf, except this Billy is not actually a dwarf, just a sleazy scumbag who makes you feel like you have to shower with after you spend more than 5 minutes with him. Renegade may be the only one worth a damn here, but that's not saying much since he's a big tattooed-laden stereotypical biker with only one eye, having lost one in a prison brawl with a man with a spoon, and for whatever reason refuses to cover it with a patch or any type of cover, which makes him all the more intimidating. This guy could make the devil piss his pants, but has a good heart in there somewhere, and that's all I'm gonna say about him. Anyways, after all this goes down, I decide wisely to get my bike and finish it myself, something I should have done to begin with, only to be told by Renegade, "It's gone, brother. I thought you got it already," because that's what Billy said when I asked why it was gone. Fuck. I called Billy and I asked him, and he told me the exact same thing, and I flipped into Renegade. We went back and forth. I made threats, called the police, who did absolutely nothing, called some bad dudes I know to apply some pressure, but their cost was more than what I wanted to pay, essentially my soul. And eventually I just had to give up, because what else could I do? My girlfriend had left me at this point, and she turned out to be a vapid, soulless, slutty, horrible piece of shit. Billy, I'm thrilled to say, was kicked out and banned for life from the club right after his big Mongol head tattoo on his arm was finished. F***ing idiot. Finally, Renegade and the ex of Billy have stayed together and made attempts at helping me find the bike and a few other gestures to show they're sorry, and I believe them when I say it wasn't them. I have trudged on and moved into a much nicer place than I was in before and managed to save enough tongue for another bike. And I'm actually considering getting another one later on as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get it with my luck, but who knows. I was really depressed about this whole thing for a long time and felt like God hated me and that I didn't deserve or was allowed to have nice things ever again. which wasn't really all from the loss of the bike, but from a culmination of things relating to my divorce and ex-wife keeping my children from all the lies she told to go accomplish that, and then the horrible things my ex-girlfriend said and did. So moral of the story, don't trust outlaw bikers. Ha 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 ha. I feel that goes without saying. I'm just too trusting and too nice, refusing to think there are good people out there without some good left in them, no matter their past misdeeds. I hope all is well with you guys. I love your channel and take on the things you showcase there. Thank you so much for the bike, and I apologize for not being a better caretaker of it. I miss it dearly. Maybe you can share my story with your viewers as a cautionary tale. And let me say one last thing in case you read this in the channel to avoid death threats. I harbor no ill will towards the Mongols and have met others since, and all have proven to be really good guys. The sick individual I had this run in was not representative of the club, and because of that his patches were revoked and he has been banned for life. So clearly it was him and not the club I had a bad experience with. Ride safe.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
I was not expecting biker three-ways.
Yeah, my favorite part about that is he did not have to include the fact that Renegade fucked Billy's wife better than Billy could. I'm like, damn, man, why'd you gotta do Billy like that? It's just, it was incredible. I mean, to give you context, I saw this email at like 7 a.m. about a month ago when I got it, and I was like drinking coffee, and I was like, what the f*** am I reading? So to the winner of the SV650X, I have shared your story as you've requested, a cautionary tale to those out there for outlaw bikers. But I mean, I love this because you never know what's going to happen with the giveaway bikes after they go and live their lives in the world.
Like,
you know?
It's somewhere out there still, just like in some dude's Mongol garage somewhere.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, I had to share the story. The colorful language he used, a biker Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And the guy with one eye, he was like, oh, he got taken out with a spoon in prison, but he doesn't cover it up.
That's like some stuff that we would try to put in the list.
Yeah, on chat they're saying, of course this happens to the Suzuki. The Suzuki finds their owners, man. You can't really make this stuff up. What did I think I wrote something back to him. Oh yeah, I said, I think 3 days later to process this. I said, hi Nick, wow, what a tale. It's crazy the life that some of these giveaway bikes lead. If you're interested, I can regale the audience with this story on an upload. I forgot that he wrote that I could share it. I feel like reading this email would be interesting enough. Just let me know what you think. And then I remembered this the other day because I turned to you. I was like, did I tell you about what happened to the SV650X? And you're like, no. And I was like, I've got a good tale for you today. That's got to be the most colorful story I've heard of our giveaway bikes.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I mean, the Lou looping the R3.
That was good.
Was close.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only other one that's lived like a particularly hard life.
Yes. I think some of them have been sold. Some of them have been crashed. Some of them, I mean, clearly have been stolen, which was fun. But yeah, that's got to be the craziest one we've heard so far.
Yeah, that's the first one that's like involved outlaw bikers and adultery and like just all kinds of
eyeballs getting ripped out with spoons. My God, it is everything. It is everything.
That you could make like a feature-length movie about that motorcycle.
Someone on chat said we need to see this acted out. Spite will be Renegade. Yeah, we should maybe do like a video about it. That'd be so funny. Yeah, man, what a crazy story. So yeah, moral of the story, as our winner here said, don't trust those outlaw bikers. And I don't know if the biker gang is called the Mongols.
Yes.
They are. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if they are watching the video, I simply read the email. Please don't come after me. I don't think you would, but I'm just a messenger here. Yeah, so with all that being said, I guess we move on to the meme contest.
Yeah, that was powerful. I'm gonna need a minute to process that myself.
We'll take a moment and then we'll come back to you guys. All right, everyone, welcome to the meme contest here on the Yamcast. This week we are dunking on Floridians. We're dunking on Floridian motorcycle riders from Florida. And I think our boys had a bit of a tough time with this one.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't drawing inspiration. I feel like
I thought we had so much to play with on that.
Fruitful ground, yeah. So we're gonna see what we've got.
I mean, for y'all that don't know, if maybe you're like international or something, Florida's a land of like gators, Gixxer, Squids, and Hayabusa boys.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's rife for memes. I guess not, but we'll see what they came up with.
Yep. So diving in, let us go to picture-in-picture and pull up the meme video here. Our first entry is coming from Whitey.
White,
okay.
I guess, right?
Florida, no time is a good time to ask why.
Yes, yep.
Florida, just don't.
That's pretty good and quite accurate of the state. For y'all that may not know, I lived in Florida from the ages of about 2 to 13, and that was all I could stomach for a lifetime, I would say. I actually moved out on my own with a knapsack on my back and walked all the way here to Texas. It's a true story.
I need something a little bit more stable.
Yep.
All right, so for White.
Just say White. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah. Creativity.
Pretty creative. How about an 8?
An 8. And funniness.
Got a good chuckle. How about an 8?
An 8.
Yeah.
Solid 16 right out of the gate. Next up, we've got Expecto Delito.
Lounging on your speeding Harley in shorts with no shirt, no shoes, and no helmet isn't normal. In Florida, it is. Florida, not even once.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Like the old school drug ads. That's great.
That's very funny.
I love it. The pause where you're just like, it's not normal. It's not fucking normal. That's crazy. Why would you do that?
I have sat like that on a motorcycle before, like not all the way leaned back, but I'll kick my feet up on the sides of my
He was,
Supermotos.
I believe, maybe in cruise control, but it maybe also looked like he was using his calf for the throttle. I think he is.
He must, yeah.
And he's shirtless and just chilling. I mean,
okay.
This is a special kind of squid, you know.
Like that's.
He's definitely using his calf on the throttle.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is crazy.
What's in the cup holder? Because this is a cup holder right here for sure.
Lean, purple drink, codeine.
Yeah,
I mean, this man's asleep.
That dude's having some fun on his bike right there.
Yeah.
All right, so for Expecto Delito, creativity.
I think this is an 8 as well for creativity.
Yes.
It was good.
And funniness.
I think a 9. Got a good chuckle out of me. I like the delivery of it.
Yeah.
The VO was really good. No, that was good.
And I think that is our last video. So next up we have DOS, and I'm taking the nerd goggles off. Because
Relinquishing yourself.
Yep. Let me get us started here on the next entry.
We got a lot of these guys just chilling in cruisers.
I know that this one I've used.
I've seen this in Yami videos.
It's in the cursed video. Cursed
I have
folder.
this in my folder, the original folder. Yeah.
Yep.
It says natural selection will not remove ignorance from future generations. Richard Dawkins. And there's just a nice little gator on the edge there.
Does that actually happen in Florida? You get speed bumps of gators just chilling on the road?
There's gators out in Florida. They're pretty common. Like if you go to a pond or something, they're not as like you got to go a little further south. But yeah, like in a little like pond, you'll see gators.
I'm sure it would be fun to hit one of those on a bike.
Probably not. It's weird because they come in a lot of sizes. Sometimes you get little gators. Sometimes you get big fucking gators. You're like, nope. Not going near that ever.
Just a living dinosaur right there.
Absolutely.
All right, so for DOS here, creativity.
I think this one is a 6.5.
6.5. And funniness.
Pretty funny. I think a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got Ogre 40 with this one. Oh, boy.
Wow. Well, I can't. Can I possibly read all that?
Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit here.
There we go. Man, I feel like I need to read it.
Yep.
It's so long, though, but I'll give it a shot.
Oh, man, there's a lot happening.
This is a I mean, this feels like it came from Craigslist at this point. So he's listed it for $30,000, first of all. Legendary custom Busa, never dropped, must see. When you tell me your Busa's never been dropped, it's been dropped.
Oh, yeah,
You
sure.
You dropped it. I know you did. So condition excellent, first of all. So this is your chance to own the winner of the Speed Wars and a piece of history, the one and only Busa, he screams. This pic of her parked was taken at Bubba's Jerky Shack in the Tampa Gun Show, just as a way for me to help bring the big guy some more business. Anyways, this bike has had so much work put into it, it's not even funny. Full Brox exhaust.
There it is.
Sick as General Lee paint job. You gotta be kidding me, man. Memory foam seat, the works. All installed by the legend himself, Cuban Carlos, real Tampa boss. No, ask for a Cubano at the Sunoco gas station and buy a case of Modelo's, and they can get you his number if you have any questions or want more work done. Fat rear tire for monster highway pulls, and more rubber for burning. I had an order put in for turbo, but it got stuck in the ports, and I'm still waiting for it to come in. Damn China virus. That's what they all say, man.
Man.
My Turbo Busa guy told me that all y'all's credit cards keep bouncing, and that's why you can't get the turbos. I'm not even kidding. He said he had one sitting on the shelf. He's like, yeah, some guy's credit card keeps bouncing every month, so you can just have it. Would be willing to throw it in as a bundle in exchange for some cotton candy, and I don't even know what that means. A case of Bang and MMA. Dude, this has to be a joke, dude.
Yeah.
Back to the bike. This fucker is as mean as they get, and you can walk any ricer, yikes, LS swapper or highway patrolman who wants the smoke. Now, I know what you're thinking. Any Hayabusa can do that. I'm not stupid. Why is this one so valuable? Very true. I got your answer for you, homie. This isn't any just Hayabusa. This isn't even your typical custom. This is the legendary Gainesville Gapper that during my college days did burnouts on the quad, walked the Dean's Hellcat, and rode through the prestigious halls of the University of Florida women's dorms after we won the SEC championship. Go Gators. I thought I couldn't dislike this man anymore, but I have. This bike has had more girls ride on its pillion than Hugh Hefner ever got into the Playboy Mansion. Seat hasn't been washed. You're welcome. Winky face. Unbelievable.
Oh.
It truly pains me to sell such a gorgeous bike, but I need some cash to quit my 9-to-5 and to get back on my POS boss. You, Daryl, and open my cannabis vape shop that I've always dreamed about. Test rides if you let me hold the cash, but Gators and girls ride free. Blah, blah, blah. Something Jimmy Buffett memorabilia, bags of rocket fuel, Scooby snacks. No low balls. I know what I got. So here's my question. I think Millennial Malaise, after reading this, he must have written this.
Yeah.
This isn't real. There's no way it's real. And that, to me, my God, you know?
Yeah.
I am very worried about his fanfic.
Oh, man.
That I'll have to read. I'm very concerned. That's a lot of effort. Because
I also look at the picture for a minute. You got the Punisher skull.
Yeah.
With the American flag on it. You got the Busa, you got the lady.
Yeah.
The tap out with the PNG background.
Yeah. He definitely cooked
It's a rich tapestry.
He cooked this all together because this man can't be real, you know? But the fact that I'm questioning whether or not it's real says a lot about Busa Boys. It says a lot about Busa Boys. This is the dedication to the game. This is the meme energy we want to see. I mean, my God. He even got the right year. It's a 2003 Suzuki Hayabusa. Mm-hmm. Got to be an 03.
I mean, wow. Just wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm glad I read it because if I hadn't read it, I might not have caught it that he had written it himself because he did such a good job of making it appear like it was a real thing that I think halfway through I was like, there's no way, dude. Someone made this. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
But what if it's real?
I know I want to believe, but I think he wrote it. There's no way.
We're gonna have to see. Just call him up and be like.
Well, he says here on chat, blame Whitney. I think I made a heater. He wrote this, dude. There's no way. This can't be real. Can't be real. We're gonna have to rate you very high, Millennial Malaise, because you made a Busa Boy Craigslist ad that is just legendary.
That was next level.
That's insane.
And I forgot to put him in here, so give me a second.
My God, Spike, come on.
Just give me a second. We're just gonna do MM right there. All right, so for creativity here.
It's a 10. I mean, he willed an entire Busa Boy fantasy into life.
It's unbelievable.
So much so that I question whether or not it's real. What?
And funniness here.
It was really funny. I think an 8.
I think an 8.
Yeah.
That is a solid 18, a solid front runner.
I mean, whenever he was like, I have my turbo sitting in the port and the dang China virus gets in the way. That can't be real, dude. Come on. That's amazing. Hats off, Millennial Malaise. That's incredible.
That was very, very good. All right. I think the next one is Ogre 40.
He's got some feedback here on stream. He says the best memes blur the line between truth and fiction and be scared for the fanfic.
Oh, damn it.
He's probably willing together just an epic, legendary, absolutely insane story.
It's going to be so...
It's going to be highly sexual too, which I'm not looking forward to, but that's fine.
This is your fault.
It's my fault.
Okay, so Ogre 40 here.
Simple. Bike theft was never a problem after I moved to Florida, and it's a nice, happy little gator on top of a quad. Gators are so weird, but I have a soft spot for them. I think they're such interesting creatures that I would like to observe from about 10 feet away.
Yeah, I'm not going to go wrestle a gator anytime
No, I don't
soon.
want to wrestle them. You ever seen the little ones that they do the little weird little chirp sounds and you can like pet their heads? That's nice, you know? That's a nice animal.
And then they turn into a
then they get big.
14-foot dinosaur.
And they get big and weird. Yeah. The fact that gators were around before the mass extinction event and after makes me very afraid of them.
Yep.
I'm like, these creatures lived through a fucking asteroid the size of Delaware hitting the Earth.
and yet they're unchanged.
They're just like, we've peaked here. Nature still hasn't nerfed us, so here we are.
All right, so for Ogre 40 here.
Creativity, I think for this one is how about a 7?
A 7.
Pretty good.
And funniness.
Pretty funny. I think a 7.5. Got a good chuckle out of me.
That's a 14.5. Next up, we've got Ryan and some numbers that I can't read because the sun's in my eyes. Right here. 904.
Says, meanwhile in Florida, girl, can you drop that TV? Or, girl, you drop that TV, you can kiss the Busa goodbye. Talk about lack of arrow there, right? Like, can you imagine the force on this lady as she's holding that up? She's jacked, dude. Look at her. She's just like holding that thing up.
That would be a very unpleasant way to ride.
Yeah. And, of course, no helmet because Florida.
Yep. These photos are a rich tapestry.
I mean, this is why we wanted Florida memes. We wanted to see stuff like this, and this is insane. I love that you dropped that TV and kissed the Busa goodbye. Oh, man. The other day, I was going to the grocery store, and I saw a guy get off a Hayabusa, this first-gen white Hayabusa. He was wearing no helmet, half lid, Suzuki sleeveless leather jacket that said Hayabusa on the back.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I love these guys, man.
They're so unironically about the Busa.
That's what I'm saying. Like 100% Busa life, you know?
Yeah.
100%. No other bike has that.
All right. So for Ryan 904, creativity.
I'd feel like a 7.5. I liked it.
7.5.
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 7.5 as well. Got a good chuckle out of me.
7.5. That's 15. Next up, we got Raishai 02. Oh boy.
You might want to zoom in on that so I can read it. A Florida man robbed and assaulted by a moto gang led by alligator. See, look how cute he looks on that little quad. Look at him. He's wearing Jinko jeans and flip-flops. Florida resident Dick Aiken was violently assaulted and stripped of his money, clothes, and dignity when he arrived at the Florida headquarters of the notorious Motor Gators motorcycle gang in Wackahoota when he mistakenly thought the location was home to a refurbisher of John Deere Gator utility vehicle engines. The gang was originally to let Mr. Aiken leave peacefully until the gang's leader, Darth Gator, noticed Dick was wearing gator skin-lined boots, which angered the reptilian leader. I'd also like to point out that the ad that he put on there says new waifu cups only available via pre-order. That's hilarious. The Motor Gators have been growing in size and notoriety ever since causing a riot at a Florida Gators college football game where the gang allegedly rode into the stadium and onto the field in protest of the University of Florida's use of Darth Gator's appearance without permission. There are also reports of the gang adopting a signature lounge back riding style where riders decide that shifting gears and using a rear brake are for warm bloods, opting to instead prop their feet under the handlebars of their motorcycle. Lastly, the group has been known to rampantly steal pet birds, rabbit, fish, and other small domesticated animals for reasons that are yet unknown. Action to apprehend the gang and its leaders have been put on hold as authorities are unsure as to give the job. I can't read that now because
Let's see here.
The job of arresting the gang to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement or the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. Wow, another one of high effort text energy. I think for the photo of that tiny little gator wearing clothes alone on top of the quad.
Yeah.
That's so great, you know?
I love these just like mythoses that were created for the ad and this crime report.
This went to a deep place, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a full-on fake news ad with. I love the ad on the side too. That's great. That's really good.
Somebody put some
real time and energy into this.
That ad has to exist.
Probably, yeah.
He found that ad somewhere.
What sites are you on?
Oh man, look
at you. Holy crap. Spite has ascended. You are a new. Hold on. Get you a little. Will you?
So much just light right there. Wow.
Yeah, well,
okay.
That's fine. You look like you're literally catching on fire. You look like you're a sun right now. Look at you. I won't try to wrap this up quick because that's insane. Raishai, this was excellent. Very, very high qual. We love to see it.
Okay, so for Raishai, creativity.
Raishai says he literally screenshotted that ad. It does exist.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. Creativity for this one, I'm going to rate a 9. Very, very creative.
And funniness.
Pretty funny. How about an 8?
An 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite Millennial Malaise level, because that one was like just...
That was next level. I mean, to the point where I'm like, is this real or not? I mean, it was insane.
Next up, we got Stacy the Death Star. With this one.
Oh, boy. Florida motorcyclist, Squid capital of the world. You got a guy riding a hamburger. You got all the squids and the choppers, the naked cowboy. You got the same guy leaning back on the chair or on the Harley there. Got some sport bike guys. Yeah, I would honestly say Florida is the squid capital of the world.
Yes, for sure.
Whenever I think of a Busa boy or a Gixxer squid, the Venn diagram overlap between Florida rider is just a circle. Yeah, it's pretty close, I gotta say.
All right, so for Stacy the Death Star here, let's see, creativity.
I think a 6.
6.
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 5.
A 5. Okay, now this is Suzasaki Kikawa?
Kikikawa. I don't know.
he Suzuki and Kawasaki swapped around. Normal riders, Florida riders.
So we got a guy riding a nice little Honda right there at the top, and then Florida riders, you got a Gator strapped at the top, his wretched looking like Indian 150cc like Mexi bike basically. If that's real, that poor Gator.
That can't be real.
It can't be real. Or can it?
I mean,
Florida. It can't be real.
We've been already questioned reality once so far during this meme contest.
It's true. I have to assume this is fake because it's just a little too crazy to believe, I think.
So for Suzasaki here, creativity.
I think this one is also a 6.
A 6. And funniness.
I think it's a A 5 as well.
A 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so our winner is Millennial Malaise.
Of course it is.
With that next level meme there. And we've got a tie for second place between Rise Shy and Expecto Delito.
Oh, man. Those are both good in different ways. But I think I got a better chuckle out of Expecto Delito's.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Florida, not even once.
So I think that's going to go
that was
to
funnier.
a solid second.
That was funnier. I got a better chuckle out of that. And then he goes for third, right?
Third. Then do we have any other ties, just in case? Because I have not.
No other ties for fourth. That's going to be White for fourth place and 16th from what I'm seeing.
So we're good, even down the down ballot. We're all set.
Yep. Well, folks, that's going to wrap up our meme contest for the week. If you've made it to the end here and you saw Spite go to and from an energy being of pure light, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you later. All right, look, you don't have to lie to me. If you had time for one Yamanu video all the way to the end, you probably have time for another one. You should probably just click this link and watch the video right over here. I promise it's going to be good. You won't regret it. Seriously, you should just click it. I'm sure it's good. We only make good stuff around here. You should just watch it. Why are you still here?